Hello everyone, this is Pennsylvania Florida Eastern back again, and I'm doing a new review series. This is going to be an in-depth review series. Originally I was going to do a Pennsylvania Railroad T1 from the blue line of Broadway Limited, and I figured, you know what, since I got these, and I haven't seen a lot of info about these, especially since these came out, pretty much arrived stores starting last week, I decided, you know what, I'll do a review, and should be it right here. So, opening this up, there we go. Do Broadway Limited Paragon 4 diesel locomotives, and these, if I can turn the, it's a nice box, it's white, however, Baldwin Centipede freight scheme. So these is to pretty much have the single stripe. So these are Paragon 4 Baldwin Centipedes, and for those who do not know, I am a fan of Baldwin diesels. I think they're really cool. And yeah, this is pretty cool. Paragon 4. We're gonna see what the difference is between the Paragon 2 in terms of internals. Pretty sure it's not going to be that much, if any at all, but we're going to look. And Paragon 4. Definitely want to know what the differences are, and because a lot of people say that the Paragon 2 ones are not that very strong. I guess so. I have to say they're not the strongest diesels in the world, given that by their size. But I'm pretty sure if you add more mass in the center, if there is space in the side of the shell, there shouldn't be much of a problem adding more mass inside these massive locomotives so that there could be more traction. In terms of motor strength, I don't really have the accurate tools to really test that, and I don't want to break any models, but at some point I will do a testing portion when I do these in-depth reviews once I have the correct tools to do an accurate pull test. But yeah, I want to look at the internals and really show people the internals, because I don't really see anybody else on YouTube really showing, you know, what do you get on the inside of these models? What is there good stuff in there? Is there bad stuff? And to me, that's the more important part, you know, of these models. So I'm going to open up this box, and we're going to take out one of the units, because they're pretty much clones, except one of them has an antenna on top of it. I only chose the other A unit that doesn't have the antenna, because the other one's in the box, and well, I just repaired that rear coupler truck arm back there, so I don't really want to fiddle with that too much when I do this review. Alright, so I'm going to open these guys up, we're going to take a look at them, and then we're going to first open the Paragon 2 model to see what is inside. Okay, I got the box open, and this box is different, and I like this box more than what Broadway's been coming out lately, these sleeve stuff. This is made out of cardboard, so it's not the same type of, you know, thick cardboard that the green boxes from Paragon 3 were, or anything like that, but it's similar, you know, it's definitely better, and foam is back. Yes, foam is back, and oh my gosh, I'm glad that they still do foam, because this foam with locomotives is amazing. I'd rather have this protecting, you know, my locomotives than something else. And wow, these are beautiful models. Looking at the original one, they have, I guess, window details of the frame. I don't think this one does. That's a shame. I could always add that extra detail later. But man, these things are heavy, by the way. They probably weigh about maybe 2 pounds. I don't know, each of these things. So these are really nice. There's the front unit and the rear unit. Now, I did get this instruction manual. This is for diesel locomotives. This is the first time I'm seeing diesel locomotive Paragon 4 instruction manuals, and this is what's inside right here. So this is about their, I guess, their system for how they couple these things together. So that's probably going to have to permanently couple these things together with screws. Although probably using shelf couplers by KD is probably going to be the way I'm going to go, just for easy sake of uncoupling these things when I put them in the storage, especially since, I don't have anything that's long enough to have these two locomotives semi-permanently connected. I don't have a layout to really do that. So yeah, I mean, most likely, this and part of the instruction manuals they'll do in drawbar. So we're gonna take one out. Can probably do it with one hand now. Probably people are like, "Ooh, you're doing it with one hand." Yeah, I'm gonna do it with one hand, and you know what? It was not that hard. This is not hard at all. These have red marker lights. Wow, these are nice. I love Baldwins. Centipedes are not my most favorite diesel. That would be the RF and BP20s, the RF 16s with the shark nose and the BP20s. But yeah, now these seem to be the newer ones seem to be a little bit more green than the older ones, and comparing the fans inside here are painted. They're silver. Oh, I'm sorry. These ones are painted silver, but these ones are not on the original Paragon 2 ones, which is a shame. I'm trying to make more space for this. Hold on, give me 1 second. There's some other projects I've been working on. And guess what, guys? I do have more projects coming with these decoder installs for Broadway steam engines. Centipede right here, the passenger one has the white marker lights, and the freight ones have the red marker lights right here. Really nice. This one stays sprung up against the chassis. Now, I don't see anything that suggests bent. Nothing seems to be broken. Here's the back of the locomotive. No rear headlight, which is fine. Details are nice as well. Pretty standard, pretty simple. Obviously, it doesn't have the connector there yet. So the details on the outside are pretty much the same, except some of the painting details, especially around the window. Windows are different. So why did I get another pair of centipedes? Well, I wanted the freight version because I want something to do freight, and I like the single stripe version too. I love Baldwins. Baldwins are really unique diesels. They're not the most successful company, but they almost made it at the end of the era. The centipedes were built to be unique. Everyone was unique in terms of their wiring schematics. To be similar like steam engines or like bespoke, but like Baldwin for some reason thought of it like a steam engine because they were not really into the whole transitioning to the diesel phase yet. But I'm pretty sure in the video, I don't know if you can tell, but the freight one is definitely a lighter color of dark green lacquer enamel. I don't know why there's this white goop on here, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, I mean, these are massive. I love these. But anyways, in the next section, I'll take the shell off of the Paragon 2. We're going to look inside of what the original Paragon 2 had, and then we're going to open this one up, and then we're going to look inside this one. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, here's the underside. There's a speaker in there. Wow, that's an interesting speaker in there. I've never seen that before. Same with the other side. There is a speaker right there, if you see that silver reflection. This is the gearbox. Are the middle wheels? Yes, these wheels right here, this one and this one my thumb is on, those are not geared, but the other three are. So some people are like, well, that's a bad thing. It's like, well, do you really need all of it? Because it's really a pretty much, in real life, I don't know if all of them were powered, but I'm pretty sure they were. All 8 wheels on each truck were powered. These were never powered. I know people are like, well, not all the trucks, all the wheels are powered. I'm like, well, yeah, because this is the front truck and the trailing truck never were powered. These were never powered. They were just there, kind of like a steam engine. So these were pretty much, the big boys of Pennsylvania, really. They're about 93 feet long in real life. It's huge. These were ginormous. These were probably the biggest first generation diesels ever created as one solid unit. The only thing that got bigger was the DD35 and DD40 series. They're pretty much a bit bigger than this, like not even that much longer, but still, these in terms of single unit body length, these are massive. Anywho, I will open this one. Pretty much everything's the same. You know, it's, Paragon 2 only had like 6 wheels that were powered. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next segment where I have the Paragon 2 shell off. Alrighty. So this is the Paragon 2 version with the shell off. And I have to say, this is the shell. This frame's thicker than I thought it was. But yeah, this is front board where all the lighting goes to. Headlights in the middle. And then you got the marker lights, which are orange, but I believe they do like a yellow color. There is no... Oh, wait. Hold on. There is a cab light. The cab light, as you can see right there, it's poking through near the conductor's foot. That's pretty cool. Interesting how they did the lighting for that. Yeah. This is not really that complicated, in my opinion, especially when I decide to do rewiring for this. Eventually, I'd like to put TCS WOW in this. There's so much space in here. To be honest with you guys, if you wanted to put TCS WOW in here, there's so much room, especially for like keep alive. This thing's great. And then here's the first speaker housing right here. There's a nice big speaker in there, and there's a second speaker housing right over here, so it's pretty cool. This huge can motor looks very similar to a Kato/Walther's model. I know this model came out 10 years ago, but those 4 indentations look strikingly similar to a Kato/Walther's motor. And these flywheels are nice and huge and thick. I mean, this is pretty much a powerful motor. And you can find these. You can definitely find these out there and get them for a good price. They're around $20. You might think, well, that's a lot of money for a motor. I'm like, well, you know, it's not that big of a deal once you have these types of motors in your locomotives. I'm actually surprised to see this. I'm kind of interested to see what my... I'm pretty sure my other Baldwin RF-16s, they have that same motor that's in my GG1, which has 2 of those motors, and the same as the one found in my Streamlined K4 when I did the, part of my other series with the DCC install. And then here's the Paragon 2 board. It's small and it's way back here. It's got a huge capacitor, but it's not the greatest in the world in my opinion. These are pretty simple, honestly. This is obviously left, right, motor plus is in red. Sorry if it's not in focus. Motor minus is in black. Doesn't matter what speakers, they're pretty much resistors. So when I decide to do a diesel TCS WOW stuff, I wish if TCS ever watches one of my videos, I have to ask you this, please, and I mean please, do double prime mover startups. Not just for like Baldwins, but because at one point I want to find a BP20, but also do like EMDs, Alcos, and all that stuff that dual prime movers. So yeah, I mean it's pretty interesting. There's not a lot of detail. It's pretty sparse, but you can always add more stuff. There's a good amount of room here. There's probably about an inch right here, and there's so much you could paint those dials on there. I mean, there's stuff that can be done with this model, and it's just amazing. It's interesting. It has this copper or brass. It has this brass thing holding all this together, which in my opinion would probably kind of stuck. Obviously don't want any contacts, but yeah, I find this interesting that they're using this as it's interesting. It's smart, but you could probably do this for cheap cheaper, but you know, this is 10 years ago. We'll see what goes on inside the Paragon 4. But yeah, that's what goes on the Paragon 4. These trucks, Paragon 2 actually, I'm sorry. That's the gearbox tower, and it's guided, so the wires are guided in there. Man, these things are going to be tough to take off to see what's inside there. You know what? I'll give it a shot. So I'll see you guys in the next shot and to see if I can get one of these trucks open. So these worm gear towers or the gearbox towers, so we can see if it has what I hope it has. The drive shafts seem to be good condition. They are made out of plastic, and I do see a ball joint, universal joint down in there. So I haven't heard anything about, you know, these ball joints or anything going bad, or these drive shafts going bad. There's a metal shaft right there, which that ball joint connects right into this guy right here, that universal joint. Interesting that they use it in ball joint. Oh, it is a ball, universal with one pin on each side. So yeah, it's like a very interesting, very different from some of the other stuff I've seen. But actually, you know, I've seen this in steam engines, so it's not that different. This is I'm more familiar with. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next portion where I'll try and pry that open so we can get it a look and see if it has those clear washers that keep the brass bearings, which you can barely see right there, from rubbing up against the worm gear. That will increase wear and scratching over time, which could eventually cause issues. Some people are like, well, it could take a long time depending on how you use it, but this type of review is made for those who not just, you know, own this model. You want to know how long this will last. You also want to know if this can be used for like museums and be used for hours and hours and hours on end. You know, it's part of the thing. You know, it's not everybody who buys these or who want to do historically. Sometimes people want to see historically accurate, you know, models of things running and not just sitting like, yeah, that's what they had. So because they're not really reliable runners. So yeah, I'll show you what's going on with that gear tower next. Okay, so I do have this open. I don't want to really completely take it off. It's kind of tight. I don't want to stress too much of the wires and yank them out or anything. But if you see that clear piece right there, that gap in there, that is what I was looking for. It is one of those washers. Actually, does it actually have in there? It looks like it does. If it doesn't, I can't tell. Actually, yeah, I think I do see it. Yeah, so see if you see this. Sorry about that. It's that right there. It looks like it's brass or just a brass flywheel, but I can tell by these are very thin, by the way. But if you see that rounded sheen right there at the edge of my nail, that very thin piece is the clear plastic bushing that keeps the worm gear from messing with this brass bearing. So yeah, that's sorry about that. My dog's just barking because he's excited. But yeah, that's what I was looking for. So yeah, this is pretty solid. The gearboxes are pretty solid as far as above. Below, I haven't really pried that open on the bottom, but if I can, I will show you the next scene. So yeah, gearbox tower, thumbs up for me. Okay, so I finally got this open, and I don't know what somebody put in here. This looks kind of gross. I'm not sure if this is from the factory. I'm not sure if this is from the previous owner. However, this is what the gears look like right here, if I can get the light on it. That's what they look like. They look to be helical? Yes, these are helical gears. Now, what type of plastic they are, I cannot tell. However, if somebody wanted to add more gears, you definitely can. It looks like you definitely can. How to apply them is a question in itself. And these are sprung. This is sprung. This is not sprung, but yeah, this wheel's sprung. I'm surprised it has a gear. That's really interesting. I am actually generally surprised that this has a gear. But yeah, it's mainly 3-axle drive on each truck. I'll fix this problem right here that I can rebend. But yeah, it's kind of hard to get off. You want to be careful. You can definitely unscrew and then pull up, but you don't want to. Plastic seems strong, to be honest. I haven't had any. Excuse me, bless me. Any stressful parts or anything from stressing. So it's 4 contact pickups, which is good, actually. That's pretty good. As far as I know that this doesn't have any, but I'm pretty sure it's the same on this side. But yeah, this yellow stuff is bothering me a bit, especially over here. I'm going to grab that. Yeah, not sure what that stuff is. Actually, I don't want to wipe it on my new locomotive cradle. By the way, this is my new locomotive cradle. And that was it for my locomotive cradle. So we're going to put this guy back on. I'm going to do it off screen because it's kind of difficult to do it while you're on screen. But yeah, that's the gearbox inside that. We'll look inside the Paragon 4 once we look at the Paragon 4 version's internals first. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next part where we have the Paragon 4 locomotive open. And hold on. One more thing. There are 6 screw holes on this model. There are 6 screw holes. So it takes 6 screws to take the shell off, and it's not that hard to take off, to be honest with you. So these are actually, for the size of this model, it's pretty simple, except maybe the bottom of this gearbox. If I wanted to re-lube the locomotive, I might not want to do it from the bottom. But this is, well, it's well lubed, and I don't see the gears deteriorating. And this is 10 years old, around 10 years old, this model. So I'm not really too worried about this grease going bad. And it looks like it has a lot of life still left in terms of that lubrication. So I'm not worried too much about this locomotive surface life, but we'll see what was applied in this one in a bit. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Sorry, I forgot about the screw port. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next part. Alrighty, so this is the Paragon 4 model, upside down right now. And this is what it looks like on the underside. And here's the gearbox. I have my light on the other side over here showing a bit of the inside. Trying to it's as full blast as it gets. I can see less gunk in there, and I can definitely see it's definitely lubricated pretty well. This time around, we have copper pickups instead of the other ones. I don't even know what the other ones were. Yeah, they were definitely not the coppers on the Paragon 2 one. So, who knows? I don't know if they were nickel on the Paragon 2, but these are definitely copper. So, to each their own. They still pick up, so that's all that matters. They're definitely not worn out or weathered or anything, so that's pretty good. Yeah, this is pretty good. Looks like the gears are the same, except the rear does not have that extra gear now. It does not have that extra gear, which is interesting. But you can still, if you wanted to, you can get some more gears and make this 4-axle drive if you wanted to. But yeah, I think though, still worm gears. Sorry if I put it down, but I had to make sure those are helical gears in there. Helical gears, I don't know why I said worm. My bad, but yeah, these are, hold on a second. Broadway, come on. Look at this. This is the Paragon 4, right? This is the Paragon 4. That's what came in this box. That's what this is. This is Paragon 4. Paragon 2. Broadway, come on, man. Come on, you couldn't even bother to have the, you know, the stamp under here, under this plastic molding to be Paragon 4? Well, it's made in China, but I'm guessing it's the same factory as this. They didn't Broadway. You're going to confuse people. You're definitely going to confuse people with that. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show as the gearbox. The gearbox looks pretty solid. The plastic gears are black. They're similar to a lot of gears I see in other models, so it's safe to say that these are going to last pretty well, and it's going to be really silent drive. So, I mean, even the Paragon 2 one was pretty silent as well. So, thumbs up on Broadway for that. The real question is to see how strong they are, and when we get to that point. But yeah, I'll put this gearbox cover back on, and then we'll take a look inside the model. Alrighty, so one thing before I want to take the shell off, I don't know. This kind of, I mean, I don't know what it means. I don't know if this shell is going to break the frame, actually. Not really the shell. The shell looks fine. But the frame, the metal is just, I mean, compared to that and that, I mean, it's kind of making me nervous about the long run of this model. I mean, look at that. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe 10 years down the road, if this thing doesn't have zinc past, we'll see. Broadway, I really hope that doesn't happen. But I don't know. I don't really like that much. It's probably nothing, but as someone who's been in the metallurgy and has seen models have zinc past, it could be a potential issue, but it could also not be, because I haven't seen a lot of models with zinc pest from Broadway in the modern era as much, so fingers crossed in 10 years at least there's no zinc pest problems. But anyways, time to pull it out. Still real, oh my gosh, these things are always heavy. This one feels a little bit thicker, but yeah, okay, there we go. So this time it's different. There is no brass walkway here. This motor looks suspicious. Oh boy. This motor does not look like the Kato one that I'm used to seeing. However, these brass flywheels look really nice, and they look fairly similar that I've seen before. Very nice indeed. There is no chuff sensor on these guys, so keep in mind. Where is the other person? Oh yeah, and this came off? Really? Really, Broadway? Really? Well, that sucks. This is supposed to not come out. That's a no-no. Why did that come off? Why is that? It's metal, looks like. Yeah, but still, that could have been made out of plastic. He's still nice for looking the models. I guess these are done differently now. Oh, look, it tells you where the LEDs are. This has something to keep the light from bleeding, which Paragon 2 did not have. And it still has a light for the cab. Neat. But only the engineer. No. Hold on. Let me see if he fell or something. I don't see a person that was sitting down. Do you guys? I don't see him. Interesting. So there's no conductor. That's interesting. Very interesting indeed. So yeah, don't have two crew figures this time. And I looked. Nothing fell off the table. I would have heard something, and I would have saw something. But no. Kind of sucks, in my opinion. Same thing. Same, got an inch of space. You can add stuff. Same housing. Different speaker. I don't know what kind of speaker is in here. Obviously, this is not made out of brass anymore. This motor looks like a 3-pole. This does look like a 3-pole motor. I hope not. They advertise that the Paragon 4 stuff is a 5-pole. I don't know what this is. This looks very similar. If you have seen my DCC installs before. I have seen this motor before. It does look like a Walthers 3-pole motor that they had in their train line. In fact, here's that train line motor right now. Looks familiar, doesn't it? I mean, I know what's in the back. Hold on, let me get it out of its bag. I'm sorry. Let me get this sucker out of its bag. Now, this does look bigger. However, it looks the same. This looks the same. I don't know. And probably some people who I know, they'll bring up probably, this the positive came off, but that's okay. I got these as a spare. I could put this in my J1 if I wanted to, if that motor ever goes bad. So you can get these for cheap. They're okay. If I look inside, you can look inside there too. I mean, yeah, it's a 3-pole. It's fine. 3-poles are fine, guys. They're okay. They're fine. But this is Broadway Limited Imports. They're supposed to bring. This set was $400. And it's supposed to be. I mean, don't get me wrong. This thing's pretty torquey. This motor. It is a torquey motor. My J1 has this, and it can pull. It will pull. But this came out of something like 20 years ago. Yeah, around 20 years ago. This thing's 20 years old. I never ran it. But it came from an FB, Alco FB that had a zinc pass in its shell. So I extrapolate this. I took this out, and I got to keep it because I was like, you know what? I could use this as spare parts. But yeah, Broadway, I hope that really is a 5-pole motor. I can't see what's inside of it. There's no hole on that side. There's a hole on that side, but you can barely see inside there. You can see some of the copper windings. But that, it looks a lot like this, and it's the same size, and it bothers me. It really does. And the reason why it does is because if this really is a 3-pole motor, then Broadway has been lying. That's right. Broadway has been lying. For this model, and possibly the other model as well. But we both know from earlier on, we saw a Kato / Walthers. I don't know. The 4 indentations there indicate that it's definitely a 5-pole motor. It's probably a clone of a Kato motor, which is probably what Walthers mainline does in Proto. So, and they're not bad motors. These are solid. The 3 poles, I can't tell if that's a 3-pole. I can't look inside. I mean, if I rotate this, I can't tell either. So, I don't know. You people seen it. It looks a lot like this one. I don't know. I really don't know. It's got a darker shell on it. That's the only difference. But, it's just one of those things that, when you're selling premium products, you want the best technology in them and drive system in them as well. I'm a guy who wants to fix his own models. For those who run DCC trains and whatnot and don't want to get into the mechanical side, you should. But if you don't really want it all, I don't know. Now, the reason why I'm like, is because I'm a part, for those who don't know, again, I'm part of a train club that runs models at the fair, and some of these models sometimes run for 12 hours for a couple of days. Fair usually lasts at the South Florida Fairgrounds between 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Used to before COVID. And these motors can burn up pretty quick. And my club president, who is a mechanic, does not like things that are unreliable and do not last long enough. Yeah, he owns a Chevy Suburban from 2005, which is still running, but it's a Chevy, and it's not a Toyota. And Toyota, well, it's Toyota. It also depends on if you know how to take care of your own car too. That also plays in part of how long the things last. And on the inside, by the way, some scuffs on the metal. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty much the same. They mounted it. I don't know. Strange. I'll try to open this. I'll come back to that. Paragon 4 on board, which is really a Paragon. It's basically one of these things. This is an HO300i. This is probably the last generation. I got this for my Streamline K4. It's pretty much the same as this, really, except maybe something slightly different. This is I think this came out of my... No, I didn't work on any Paragon 4. So yeah, this definitely came out of my Dreyfuss Hudson. So yeah, this one, again, you can see they're the same thing. It's really just Paragon 3 2.0 or 3.5. So we'll see what this guy has inside. I haven't really had any problems with these HO400As, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. I've seen on the Facebook group for Broadway Collectors Club, sounds seem pretty nice. So yeah, the motor is a big question mark. It looks really similar. It's probably a cheap motor too, most likely. Seen this thing before. Not brass anymore. It might be nickel. I don't know what this is. Metal. It feels like metal. It doesn't feel like plastic. Good clearance and all that stuff. But yeah, gearbox. I'll show you guys that one next. That'll be a big question as well if it has those washers. Okay, so I've taken this off. I realized that I just had to pry it in from the inside, so it was easier than this one's a little bit tougher on it. It's pretty hard plastic, by the way. So, I'm trying to look at it too. Believe there is a plastic washer in there. I'm gonna poke around. I think I see it. Yep, there is one in there. Super thin. Let's see if it focuses. You see that right there? A little thin thing that's in between the worm gear and the brass bearing. That's what I'm looking for. So, I think we're good to go on that. I want to see if I can see the other side as well. Alright, there we go. And let me push this to the other side. I see it as well. It's clear, but you see that little lip right, I mean it's shining, but it's right by the worm gear where it just drops off to be a flat face. It's in there as well. So on both sides, good Broadway. You didn't let up on that. Unfortunately, Walthers has gotten rid of those very nice spacers, or I forget, those washers that really protect the worm gear from the brass bearing. They got rid of that in their F40s, and all three of them have failed because of that design that they have done. And yeah, our club president says we'll never buy one of those ever again until they decide to fix that. And it's design choice, so it's just one of those things. Now, some people are like, well, I've had some of those models and I don't run them as much. True, I'm not saying it's entirely bad, but if you want to use this for commercial purposes, I would look into probably finding something else. So yeah, that's the interior of the Paragon 4 version. It's Paragon 2, basically, a different motor and a different decoder. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. So when I put the shell back on, we're going to put them on my layout, and we're going to give them a performance test, see how they move and whatnot. This coupler is messed up. Broadway, what the heck is this? I'm gonna have to take this coupler out because it is kind of stuck. Yeah. It feels like metal. Is this a metal coupler? It is, I think. If not, I'll just replace it anyways with a Katie. But yeah, I hope you guys like this opening session. This is something I really always wanted to do. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the layout, and we'll test each of these antennaless units. Alrighty, so now we're on the layout. As you can see, the Paragon 2 version is on the layout first. And then the Paragon 4 version is sitting off the track on the side. So we're going to power up the track, and we're going to see the sounds. Power's on. As you can see, those marker lights look really nice. White, and then the interior's lit up as well. Pretty cool. I like it, I like it. So, let us turn this on. First, I will get the address of the locomotive, which I believe is that. No, I can always check the other one. Now, this model has old sounds, obviously Paragon 2. The sounds are okay. They could be better. It's kind of hard to tell if they're Baldwins. They do definitely sound unique. We're going to try out the bell. Bell's alright. Going to try the horn. Pretty simple horn, really nice horn, pretty loud. I'm gonna try forward, which this is a reverse, by the way, so it will move reverse. Very nice and smooth, very quiet. So yeah, this is a pretty nice model for its time. The sounds were pretty nice for its time. There were not a lot of Baldwins on the market that had sounds, really. So I have to give it to Broadway for, you know, taking the mantle for having sounds for models like such as these. And it's a shame that, you know, Broadway is the only one that makes centipedes. The only way you could get these before was brass, and, you know, brass is expensive and it's difficult to work with, especially with diesels. Some people will disagree, but it also depends on the era and manufacturer, as well as the location of who built these models. But yeah, really, really nice model. Horn, couplet slack, air pump. Also, rev up and down, the RPMs.
Okay, we're ready to pull. Okay, you can run on maximum authorized speed. Okay, thank you, sir. Here we go. Okay, we're ready to pull.
So, passenger stuff. The cylinders. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's the comparison for this side of the comparison with the Paragon 2 models. And we're going to shut off the locomotive. It should shut off. Anywho, I'll just take it off the track. So yeah, we'll get to the next segment where we'll do the Paragon 4 version. See how that one sounds. Alrighty, now it's time for the Paragon 4 model. I'm going to put it back to address 3. Oh wait, gotta turn it on. Oh, those LEDs look nice and the lights are more white. Very interesting. Light inside seems to be brighter than the other one. So that one's going to be interesting. Different sounds. A lot louder. Broadway, I know you like making your locomotives loud from the factory, but jeez, a little bit too loud, but it's nice. It's got the Baldwin RF16 bell. See what the alternate horn is on F22. I do not really like that horn. Makes no sense to have a multiple chime horn when you have a single note horn. This makes no sense. It should be like a Leslie air horn 200 or something. But yeah, the lights are really nice on this. A little bit blue, but I do like the red marker lights. So we're gonna go inverse to show how it goes forward. Yeah, it's not, well, it can go slow, but not as slow as I would like it to go. Strange. Well, that's not good. Huh. That is very interesting. I'm surprised it is not running right. Sorry about that. So there it goes. I'm confused why it's muted. Well, that's not good. Interesting. Well, let me turn off the power and try to turn it on again. Okay. Okay, well, that was interesting. That's definitely a user error on my end, so I was pressing 8, and I guess it took it off, and it's like, oh, I don't know, and then I guess I gotta press 8 now, but I could probably fix that later when I take it off and put it on the track. But I want to see how she rides. At first she was derailed, but I think that was my problem. I'm gonna go forward. I think Broadway fixed the issue where there's too much gap for the pilot. As you can see on that, it's definitely sagging. Well, on this, they're not sagging, so that's pretty nice. Seems quiet. So sorry about the technical difficulties before. I'm not sure about that sound. And it moves fast for a big diesel. I don't know. The sounds are nice. They're really nice. But I'm not sure if that's what they sounded like. I'm not 100% sure. I would think they would sound more like the Baldwin RF-16s where they have that bubbly sound. That pounding, bubbling, almost got a heart attack kind of sound, and it'll be twice as much. But I don't know, these, idle, it sounds nice. That does sound Baldwin to me. But hey, you know, I'm not the one who did it. But it sounds pretty good. At speed, it just seems a little bit off, but I guess I'll have to compare sounds, because there's not a lot of recorded sounds of these things in real life, so... I mean, there's some videos of these guys running around, but not sure if they capture the accurate sound. But yeah, the lights and sounds and the details are pretty much the same, except for some more painted details with that I pointed out earlier. Marker lights are nice. I love that red marker light look on these Baldwin Centipedes. Really nice. And I really like the single stripe freight look. So I can't wait to do freight train consists with these guys. They're really nice. One critique, maybe two critiques. Sound, it's good, pretty good. Is it the best Baldwin sounding sound? In my opinion, it's fine. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's fine. At idle, they sound great in my opinion, but to each their own. I mean, you got to hear what they sound like at higher speed, so you got to make that assumption on yourself. I mean, would I put TCS WOW in these to put Baldwin sounds? Well, I wouldn't be able to get double prime mover until TCS does that. To be honest, I haven't even checked to see if TCS even does that. So, I could be wrong, but we'll see. I definitely plan on doing TCS WOW for my older ones from Paragon 2, and I'll definitely do a video on that when I get to that. First, I have to get all my Steam done. All my Broadway Steam will be converted to TCS WOW. And, yeah, if you're curious about TCS Diesel, you know, aside from this review, if you have the older Paragon 2 ones, they're nice. I understand the critiques of them not pulling as much, and that is understandable. However, if you want better sounds, there are a Locksound out there, and I've heard the Locksound version, and the Locksound version does sound really good. TCS's Baldwin prime movers are pretty good. They have 3 or 4, I think 4. They have the VO1000 or VO800. They have the 606, the 608A, and the 606A prime movers. So I know the Centipede have a variant of one of those, but they had 2 of them. So I would hope TCS is able to do that for when I do these guys. And I will do both the A unit and this is basically the B unit, even though it's another A unit, the antenna-less version. And they will both be upgraded with those sounds, and they will sound wonderful with the Leslie air horn that they have by TCS WOW. The 200 Leslie air horn is spectacular. I love it. So, yeah. Paragon 4 versus Paragon 2, guys. Which do I think is better? Okay. Personally, I do not know the pulling strength of this at this time. Compared to Paragon 2. The lights I like for Paragon 4. The details are a bit better on Paragon 4. Paragon 2. In my opinion, after seeing the motor inside that version, I think the Paragon 2 has the better motor. In terms of drive strength, I don't know. So, I recognize the motor inside the Paragon 2, and I recognize the motor that's inside here. If it's the same exact motor as what I showed earlier to be a 3-pole, I do not really know. However, the motor control on the Paragon 4 version does not make me smiley face. I am not... slow speed control is not very the greatest. Seems to be an ongoing thing for Broadway. Some people are okay with it, some people are not. To me, I like to be as slow as possible sometimes. The crawl is amazing and realistic, and that's why I like TCS WOW when it comes to my Pennsylvania stuff. My European stuff all have ESU, but they still crawl really slowly too. Sounds are good on the Paragon 4 version. That is a plus. At speed, I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to play with it a lot longer to give a final verdict on that. For the Paragon 2, sounds are definitely dated. They are definitely dated, that's just a fact. So, if I were to rate these, I would rate this model, the Paragon 4, out of 10. Six and a half or 7. And I might be wondering, these are nice models. What are you talking about? Well, I'm not sure about the motor. The motor is probably a 3-pole, which drops at a point. If it is a true 5-pole, it's a 7. Details are good. However, you could at least paint that exhaust on both ends black. Detail's pretty good, to be honest, though. And this is based off on older tooling. There's nothing really brand new from this. Really. There really isn't nothing really brand new. Gearing, the gears are all pretty much the same. Gearboxes are the same. The trucks are the same. Nothing really different besides the decoder and the motor. The Paragon 2 version. Sounds are outdated. I would give it... And performance is better. So I would give it a solid 7. Drive's pretty solid in my opinion. It's not the strongest puller, but it has a pretty solid 5-pole motor in there. So, and the lighting's pretty fine, good as well. It's more yellow than this, but to be honest, it's white in my opinion. It's not bad. Details are good. As a non-brass model, this is a pretty nice model. The same critique for the Paragon 4. At least paint the inside of these black so it looks like it goes somewhere instead of just being green. You could also paint it yourself, but I'm talking about from the factory. And the fans inside there are not painted silver, I guess. So the fan blades, which are molded in. So yeah, these are solid 7s. Between 6.5 and a 7, because I don't know if it's a 3-pole. A 6 and a 7. Same for control. So it really depends on your preference. Right now, people are trying to sell these on eBay for a ridiculous price, sometimes even more than the Paragon 4 versions, which I say to those sellers, wake up and smell the bacon, guys. They're older. They have been used, and you could say, oh, yeah, I haven't used it for years. It's still older. Why would I buy that if somebody would want to buy a new one, according to some people who just want to buy something new? So I got these for like $220 something because it was used, and it, you know, was used. And I got them for a decent value. These I got for $415. And to be honest, you're getting $208 for a nice large detail that, not detail, diesel. That, I mean, I have to test the strength. And I don't have an accurate measure to do that. So, I'm sorry, not in this review, but I will do an update later on about these. Details are good. Coupler, so that's why I got a 6.5 for this guy. I mean, the value for what you get these today compared to other modern diesels, I mean, this is a good deal. Because you get a pair of these for like $208, which is nice. Now, some people are like, well, I want the single one. Why would you want the single one if you're going to get a Pennsylvania one? If you're going to get Seaboard, yeah, it's $230. But you get a really nice sized diesel. Now, I'm not sure if, you know, the quality, because I've seen stuff about the SD70, or not the SD70, I'm sorry, ES44 that Broadway came out with recently, and on the Facebook page, somebody showed the frame bent, like seriously bent. It was elbowing like a banana. And they got that out of the box, and I'm like, oh snap, that is not good. Broadway, what is that? I hope that guy got a brand new model. But then I was like asking the guy, like, why didn't you get a Scale Trains? Because Scale Trains already made it. Scale Trains does not make these, so I'm not worried about that as much. But if Scale Trains did, I'd probably get the Scale Trains version if Scale Trains made these. And that's just the thing. Because, again, this is Paragon 4. That's why it's got a lower score than it probably would have, because it's not... You can't interchange these easily. It's simple, in my opinion, because I've done DCC decoder swaps that are hardwired, and it's not that really hard. It really isn't. You just have to have some soldering skills, and you gotta be not afraid to open up your models. I'll shut her off, so he's not annoying. Turn off the light too, so I'll let the... There you go. You know, it's not hard to do these models. So, again, these are really great models, but the problem with Paragon 4 and Paragon 2, reason why they got 7 score or less, is that you can't do your own hardwiring. They are DCC, which meets NMRA standards, but not in the sense of JST plugs or, 8-pin, color coding and whatnot. They're not part of that standard, like ESU is and TCS and Soundtracks. They're not part of that grouping, and they don't really give you the choice to do that unless you make that choice yourself, and you're stuck with those electronic choices that you make, so you can't make a mistake. However, mechanically, I am confident to replace my own parts that need to be replaced. Yeah. You can get these sent to Broadway if you have a decoder problem. If you do, you can. And if it's under warranty still, yes, you can. However, there are better decoders out there with better sounds, which is why I talked about these getting TCSs eventually, and which will probably bump their score higher for this one. It'll probably go to an 8, right? The Broadway getting an 8 out of 10? Well, maybe. Probably. It doesn't have the most details, but I would probably rate it higher if it had the TCS in there. So yeah, that comes in conclusion with the Paragon 4 compared to Paragon 2 Pennsylvania Railroad Centipedes, guys. At this point, it really comes down to what you really want. Again, it's around up to $450, I guess, or to some retailers it's higher. I got this from a guy on Facebook. I can shout him out if you want. I'll probably put him in the description. I'll have to ask him first. But his name's Wesley. definitely, if you want, you can follow him on Facebook, and you can probably ask and see if you can make a deal with him. Remember, he has to make money too, guys. You know, it's just one of those things. He's trying to do a business himself, but you can probably get a good deal on him if you want to get it close to day one. So, and he's pretty honest. Just, talk with him. He told me when these arrived, I asked when they were going to be shipped out, and they shipped out at the beginning of this week, Monday, Tuesday, and they got here today on Thursday. So thank you, Wes, if you do watch this video. These are really nice models. I don't know if you got yourself the Union Pacific ones since you're out there out west, but they're fine. I like these. I'm glad I got these single stripe ones. Single stripe ones seem to go for a higher price than the 5-stripe ones on eBay. For some reason, I don't know. I think it's a bunch of baloney anyways. So if you see the Paragon 2 versions that are too high, try to negotiate with them and explain to them, there's new ones out there. These are not the same as the new ones with the electronics. So, you can negotiate. I would say a pair of 2A units from Paragon 2 is probably worth around $300 in my opinion. If you can get them for a really good value, get them. And if you have to fix them, see if you can fix them. If you can't, I wouldn't buy them. But, it's up to you. So, yeah, this is the Pennsylvania and Florida Eastern signing out on this first in-depth review. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And you'll have a great day. Bye now.